Good evening, folks. GDP here with another live virtual tasting. This time we're live in Sonoma at the La Crema Winery with Elizabeth Grant Douglas, the winemaker from La Crema. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
We're doing pretty well. We're going to do better when we start drinking, as everybody out there knows. They're very familiar with the routine.
La Crema's been around since the 70s, actually. It started back when cool climate Pinot Noir and Chardonnay in California was probably a fairly novel idea.
You have to be crazy to do it.
Well, yeah, they're planting grapes in areas that, clearly was a poor gamble. But
Cold climate, my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Risk
But
takers.
that's where on the margins, that's where the really great wines can be made. You've got to plant those grapes in areas where they're not going to ripen really, really quickly, and maybe not even every year. But that's where you end up with that nice long hang time and the bright, juicy acidity.
We're talking
So
today a
important.
little bit about stress.
Yes.
You want to stress
yes.
those vines out a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
not emotionally, but a little physical stress helps.
Absolutely.
I've certainly said that before, and I've tried to relay to people why I think that is important from your perspective. Why is stress? What does stress do to the fruit that ultimately allows you to create great wines?
Absolutely. If the vines are too happy, if the vines have all the nutrients that they could possibly want, all the water they could possibly want, it's bright and sunshiny all the time, you can end up with wines that are just sort of lacking in personality. The vines will end up, throwing too large a crop. They'll ripen during the warmer part of the season instead of during the cooler part of the season. They'll lose their acidity. They'll just get kind of flabby and boring.
A lot like people.
Gotta challenge
You
people.
treat them too well.
Yeah.
You put them in the sun. You
Yeah.
let them relax. What happens? You get flabby and boring.
Absolutely,
There you
absolutely.
go.
And don't let them grow up too fast. Absolutely not. So we're always putting these grapes into areas that have, the cooler climate, whether it's because of wind, whether it's because of fog, and in soils that are challenging, whether it's because they're super well drained and the water just, sort of gushes away from them, drains away really quickly, stressing the vine, or if they're maybe in like really heavy clay that again sort of dries out, cracks, and sort of breaks apart those little tiny roots. And it's another way of challenging that vine, making it fight a bit.